sitting down, watching the aftermath of the fight between Devin Haney and Vasily Lomachenko. I sat there watching this grown man in tears, crying. And I thought to myself, yes, at this moment, how ironic, Jesus wept. Yeah, Vasily Lomachenko, known as to some people as White Jesus. This is not a racial slur or anything, or, the god of boxing, the Matrix. And I heard this a lot. I didn't talk about it much. Heard this a lot over YouTube, White Jesus, and how, like, Lomachenko was the messiah of boxing. And kind of watched that stuff, overlooked it, didn't pay any attention to it. I thought, okay, fine. But let me show you something. Let me see if I can bring this up on screen. This is what I'm talking about. And this is what one of the topics that we'll be discussing on BWTM Sports. There comes a moment, there comes times within sport or moments that you feel, you know what? I got to talk about this because this is ridiculous. I've got no problems with him crying, but hold tight. You're watching BWTN Sports Gaming. Let's get into the show. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to BWTN Sports. I'm actually going to keep this picture right here so it inspire the things I'm talking about in boxing. They call this gentleman here, and I'm not being racial here, you all know me, White Jesus, the God, the Matrix of boxing, the Messiah of boxing. This man right here, Vasily Lomachenko. At no point in time did he ever refute those claims. Did he ever did his team or his management shut that talk down? He accepted it, and it was taken on, and at times it was just nauseating, because the things Vasily Lomachenko was doing in his career was no better. Far guys like Penn Whitaker were doing things before Lomachenko was doing the stuff that he was doing. Thank you very much. So I just wanna hold this thought a second. The second thing is Lomachenko crying here, yeah? Lomachenko's crying in his dressing room. Say, Lomachenko cried because he lost the fight, yeah? Which I blame him for. Let me just hold that right there a second. Not too long ago, Deontay Wilder broke down in tears because he almost half killed a man in Robert Helenius, and people were laughing at him crying. But if you looked at the way Helenius hit the canvas, I'd have been, and that's his friend as well, I'd have been concerned as well at how dangerous the sport is. But no, hold it right there, because that's Deontay Wilder. When it's Lomachenko, it's fine if Lomachenko breaks down in tears. If Lomachenko breaks down in tears, the commissioner's got to get involved. I'm hearing ridiculous things like, the fight should be overturned and Lomachenko should be given the belts. What? He lost the fight. Now, keeping it absolutely real here, I thought Haney lost the fight. I thought Lomachenko won the fight. Okay? But if we're going to keep it absolutely 100% real, and we're talking about America now, not the UK, we're talking America, where the rule of thumb, and Americans can tell me if I'm wrong here, the rule of thumb is that when you're in America, you have to take it from the champion. You have to literally beat the crap out of a champion to say, you know what, I am the champion. You've got to literally outpoint. It hasn't even got to be close. You've got to destroy the champion. You've got to rip the belts from the champion. Did Lomachenko do that? Hell no, he didn't do that. Yeah, he boxed well. Yeah, he had his spots. Yes, he boxed well. Yes, he made, he did some very smart things at times. But did he destroy Devin Haney? No, he didn't. Does that mean that Devin Haney didn't lose the fight? I thought Devin Haney did lose the fight because I thought Lomachenko was landing the more hurtful shots, the more eye-catching punches. Yeah. Now, that being said, I want you to listen. If any of you listen to the ESPN commentary and Tim Bradley, Tim Bradley, right? I don't know if Tim Bradley has pictures of Lomachenko in his house. I don't know if he worships at the temple of White Jesus and Lomachenko or White. I don't know. I really don't know. But to me, everything Lomachenko was doing, it was like, oh, good left hand from Lomachenko. Oh, yeah, that's great from Lomachenko. I love the way Lomachenko. But yet Lomachenko would throw a shot. Lomachenko would miss. Haney would hit him hard to the body, and nothing was being said about Devin Haney. And it's easier to see their headshots than it is a body shot. So when you're throwing a headshot, your head obviously rocks back. So, yeah, that is key. But when Haney was going to the body now, not much was being said, unless it was like you could see visibly that Lomachenko will take a step back. Now, for me, I blame Lomachenko because he's an experienced fighter and he knows in America he has to go. He can't do that pitter-patter crap. He had Haney hurt, and I did predict in the fight that at some point Lomachenko was going to catch Haney with something nasty. He did. But he sat back in his laurels and he thought if he got to the judges' scorecard and he tried to outpoint Haney, he was going to get the title. No. That's naivety. That's entitlement. You feel you're entitled to be an undisputed champion. That you didn't fight like a person that deserved an undisputed championship. No. You did not fight like an undisputed champion or a person deserved to be undisputed champion. No way. No chance. I'm sorry. No. So you can cry all you want. The best for me, for you, is to get a rematch, an automatic rematch. Now, this is warranted an automatic rematch. This is one of the fights where I think, you know what? Yeah, let's run that back. And if I'm Devin Haney, I don't look at anybody else. I run the fight back with Lomachenko. And this time, I make sure I put a proper beating on Lomachenko. That's what I do. That's what I do. See, I have a problem with certain things. I have a problem with some of the things I have a problem with is this. When Lomachenko does something, it's fine. If Deontay Wilder does it, it's not fine. Lomachenko cries, poor Lomachenko. Oh, Lomo, what can we do for you? Wilder cries about almost half killing a man. It's okay. It's Wilder. Let's laugh at him. Lomachenko has nobody but himself to blame. He had the opportunity right in his face, right there. He had Haney hurt. But what did he do? Nothing. Pitter-patter, pitter-patter, pitter-patter. So, and he didn't look that great to me. He didn't look that spectacular to me. So, for me, and you know what? I was so glad. Well, I'm not a hater, but there's certain people in this world that you will never get on with. There's certain people in this world that you'll never have the same ideology, and that's fine. But when these people are people that that are the cause of your pain and the cause of many people's pain around the world because of their ideology and their thought processes, you like to see people like that. Unfortunately, you like to see people like that. What's the word? Not do so well in life. And when you think people are sort of like self-entitled, then at the end of the day, when you see them, they don't have access to that entitlement. Let me take it back further. When Terence Crawford was undisputed champion. He wasn't being promoted the way Lomachenko was being promoted. Lomachenko was being promoted. He wasn't even undisputed champion. I don't understand it. I don't get it. I don't get it. Now, if I'm Lomachenko, I think I've got a valid case to try and go for a rematch. Although, if he gets the opportunity, he's got to knock Haney out. If he goes to points again, he doesn't win the fight on points. I'm sorry. It's Lomachenko's fault. He should have taken the opportunity and knocked Haney out. For me, fighters fighting patterns, and they always give you a performance you think, nah. And after that performance, not too long after, they get their ass beat. Fighters fighting patterns. And they always give you that since I've been watching boxing, you watch a fighter and then you see a fighter get exposed in a fight. They may win the fight. They win the fight, you think they lost, or they win the fight and they've left gaping holes in the defense, or they've not won convincingly. At that point there, unless they go back to the drawing board and they actually make the adjustments and make the changes, a defeat is a fight or two away. So Devin Haney might not be champion much longer based on what I saw Saturday night. I take aside all the white Jesus rubbish and then Haney trying to be Black Superman for 1 second. Take all that rubbish and put it to one side. And as a pure boxing match, loved it. It was refreshing to see two guys, the older, the younger, the guy who's got the experience, supposed experience, but doesn't actually show that experience when he gets the guy hurt, versus the guy who wants to prove a point, the up-and-comer, the champion, who wants to, get rid of the old dog. Loved it. Loved that back and forth. Loved it. But nobody in that fight really, to me, took authority and said, right, Haney didn't, to me, show, right, I'm the undisputed champion. I'm going to take control of this fight. And Lomachenko, as a challenger, to me, at no point said to me, right, I'm going to hurt you. I've hurt you now. I'm going to get you out of there. I didn't see that. So both guys, to me, as far as I'm concerned, the way I look at it is it was a good fight, but I don't think it warrants people saying Lomachenko was robbed. And I don't think it warrants Haney running around saying he's top of the pound for pound list. No. You need to go back, run that fight back. My gosh, if Anthony Joshua can get a rematch fight in Alexander Usyk where he got completely punched up around the ring, if Joe Joyce can turn around and push for an immediate rematch against a guy when he was getting his head punched off, there's no reason why Lomachenko could not push for a rematch against Haney. If I'm undisputed champion, it's Haney. Undisputed means there's no dispute. My friend, Devin Haney, there is a dispute. There is a dispute, and the dispute is that the old man, Lomachenko, White Jesus, feels that he was entitled to your belts because he felt he outboxed you. You're talking about pound for pound greatness. Come back and literally come back to retire Lomachenko. That's what you got to do. You got to put this fight to bed and say, you know what? Okay, the first fight I ain't so sure about. Second fight, I'm gonna put it to rest. Yeah, that's what's got to happen. He's got to put it right. Put it right. But here's another thing that came to mind. Lomachenko is not the only fighter in the world that is an aging fighter. And I've noticed with aging fighters, when their career's out the door, Lomachenko has got an interesting style. But he's not... I couldn't sit down and listen to Lomachenko talk for too long. I find him guy actually very boring, right? He's got some skill set, yes. But I just don't find him an exciting fight. I don't see anything exciting about Lomachenko. Devin Haney, again, he's one of these guys that he's good, he's okay. I don't think there's anything brilliant about Devin Haney. He does things well, but I don't think there's anything brilliant about. I don't think there's nothing outstanding about Devin Haney. He's what I would say. He does everything okay, but doesn't do anything particularly exceptional. He's just hard working. He's not an exceptional champion. It doesn't do anything that stands out for me. So Lomachenko, I wouldn't say Lomachenko is a massive ticket seller in America, but I would think that David Haney, he's got fights where he can make a lot of money. He's got fights where he can fight Shaka Stevenson. There's Tank. There's other guys he could fight, arguably, and make a lot of money with. And he speaks English well. What I'm saying is this. It is better when these guys are aging. Lomachenko, Usyk, Golovkin, all these guys, when they're getting older, they like to push them out the back door. Push them out. So, the way they push guys out like that is, if a fight's close, they give it to the other guy. Or that's the way they show them the door. Or if they're not showing them the door that way, they make sure they don't get another world title shot. So there's ways. So if the commission really feel that Lomachenko should have won that fight, then he'll get an immediate rematch, I think. But, that all depends on if they're trying to shift him out the door or they're trying to bring him back in and they're making money for a rematch. That's what I'm thinking. Well, that's what I've noticed. Let me see what people are saying in the room. I hope you can hear me clearly. A really good fight. I had it 7-5 for Lomachenko. I watched it back several times. I think a rematch would be good, but not necessarily needed. Okay. Hey, Barry. Hey, bro. How you doing? Judge ruined the fight with the scoring. Could have gone either way. Okay. Even with Brook on the downside of his prime, I still think he has just enough to beat Benn. Possibly stopping him with Benn having a tendency to move his head after shots and leaning right when pivoting. Okay. Good evening to you, Ingram. Good to see you on tonight. Thank you very much. I see no problem with fighters crying. Remember when Garcia cried in the locker room after beating Ortiz because he knew how close it had been to losing? Very deep moment. Yes. Nobody made a mem of that, though. I watched it on Sky, and it was very clear they didn't want Haney winning that fight. Okay? Glad you see the biasness there. Why don't talk some rubbish, though, Ingram? That's why people don't take him serious. He comes out with the most outlandish remarks. Sounds like you've got a short memory, my friend. I remember Mike Tyson talk about he wanted to punch a person so hard that the nose went up and ran up inside their brain. Do you remember that? Tyson saying stuff like that. And Tyson turned around saying he wanted to eat Lennox Lewis's children and his heart. And Tyson saying that, oh, what happened, Mike? I broke my back. Spinal. You remember that? So, I mean, why doesn't the only outlandish speaks the only fighter that talks outlandish things? But there is an element of truth about what he's saying. I mean, the way that Hellenius went over like he didn't fell over, the way he went over, the way he laid out Hellenius, he was laid out like a carpet. And that's his friend he did that to. Not good. All being said, it was an absolutely brilliant matchup, and I loved every round. Yeah, it was a good fight. It was refreshing. I would be worried about taking a shot from Haney. Put it that way. He got pillow fists. Yeah, well, Lomachenko didn't walk through him, did he? I know you say he's got pillow fists, but he didn't walk through him, did he? Lomachenko didn't show me anything in this fight that showed me that he deserved to be an undisputed champion. He showed me he deserves to be a champion. Showed me he deserves to be a unified champion. But undisputed, no, my friend. No, my friend. And there's no point in having all that skill and all that talent, and then when the opportunity comes for you to stop the undisputed champion, you don't stop him. So he's sitting there crying. I don't feel sorry for him. I don't feel sorry for him. I don't feel sorry for the team whatsoever. What's your thoughts on Buatsi fight? I was very disappointed in Buatsi, expecting way more. I told you about Buatsi. I've told people about my thoughts about Buatsi before. Very overrated. Very, very overrated. That crap started with Eddie Hearn saying he was the best light heavyweight in the world, the most talented. No, he's not. No, he's not. If you're getting rocked, no disrespect. If you're getting rocked and fighting life and death of Craig Richards, that's not elite. Sorry. That's what it is. It's a matter of fact, matter of moments before Buatsi gets chinned. Sorry, I'm not. Nice enough guy, but Is he world class? No. Is he good enough to win a world title? I don't know, but I'm not on that Boatsy train, that's for sure. No way. All right, we're going to talk about another thing very quickly. Conor Benn and Kell Brook. Conor Benn was raging, and Brook is there. What is it with Conor Benn calling out old men? What is it with Conor Benn and old men? He called out 44-year-old Pacquiao. He's calling out over the hill Kell Brook. I don't understand. I don't get it. You know what? I'd love to see Conor Benn fight Marcus Maidana. Call him out of retirement. Fight Marcus Maidana. I'd love to see him fight Marcus Maidana. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right calling people out that are over the hill. But imagine one of these guys actually catch you and spark you. Imagine Brook sparks Benn. Worse, imagine 44-year-old Pacquiao comes out and chins Benn. Where does that put Conor Benn's career? Conor Benn's doing himself. I don't know who's advising Conor Benn. I really don't. But it's not good. Whoever advised him to go on the Piers Morgan show was ill-advised. Whoever's now told him to pulling up on Kell Brook, it's ill-advised. Whoever was told him to say what he was saying about the British Boxing Board of Control was ill-advised, because ultimately you have to come back to these same people afterwards. Ill-advised. Ill-advised. Why didn't you call out a top welterweight? Why do you take the same heat with... Why do you call out Errol Spence and talk that same stuff to Errol Spence? Huh? Why do you call... I never heard you call out Terence Crawford's name. Why do you call Terence Crawford out and tell me you want to have a rumble with Terence Crawford? You will have it with Crawford. Why do you say that? Why do you want to have it out with the same energy with Virgil Ortiz? He's up and coming. Or Jerron Ennis. I'm a bit confused. I'm a bit confused here. You seem to want it and have it with these guys that are past their prime and ready to be bashed up, as you'd say. But any real live dogs, I want to see Benn in over a live dog that's young around his own age and see if he's got that same mentality that he wants to bash people up and he's the man and he'll fight anybody. Let's see. On the subject of wanting to fight anybody, Tyson Fury. This man, right? Was it not the same Tyson Fury that back in 2013 when I first interviewed him, he told me, he said, he'd fight Cain Velasquez, he'd put in a boxing match, he'll even get in the cage and he'll beat up Cain Velasquez. Now, John Jones' name is mentioned. He goes, oh, John Jones? Yeah, John Jones. You're a good fighter. You're a great fighter, mate. But in the boxing ring, I'm the man. Are you really the man? Are you really the man, Tyson? Because I'm beginning to wonder. You criticize Vladimir Klitschko for his career of boring people. You criticize Vladimir Klitschko for the type of opposition that he faced. But wait a second. What are you doing, Tyson? Aside the Wilder fights, the two Wilder fights, the third one you couldn't get out of, you were obliged to fight that third fight. Apart from the Wilder fights, what else have you given us? Derek Chisora, Dillian White, and now you're trying to give us what? Dempsey, is it Dempsey McKean? Joshua's sparring partner, who was absolutely refused on Joshua's comeback fight, but somehow you're considering him for a world title fight. What did he do to earn a world title shot, can I ask? Joseph Parker. What did Joseph Parker do to earn a world title shot? No. I don't want to see you. Dempsey McKean. I don't want to see you, Dempsey McKean. I don't want to see you, Joseph Parker. I don't want to see you with Manuel Shah. No. The only person I want to see you in the ring with is Alexander Usyk. I know I don't want to see you in the ring with Anthony Joshua. I just want to see you in the ring with Alexander Usyk. That is it. That is all I want to see. Tyson Fury, Alexander Usyk. That is it. Why do I want to see you fight Joshua when he got beaten by Alexander Usyk? Why don't I want to see you Wilder? Why don't I want to see Wilder Usyk? Yeah, I want to see you fight Usyk. He's a small man. He's a foreigner. He's a pumped up light heavyweight. But if he's all these things, why don't you just fight the man? Fight the man. By now, you'd be undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. You could retire as well. Oh, but you want the Joshua fight? I don't know, mate, but all I hear you just talking, and it's boring. It's boring. It's boring. Absolutely boring. And I'm sorry, but it's the same people. And also, there's a guy on Talk Sport who's talking absolute rubbish. Who's going, yeah, Tyson, don't take the fight with Usyk. I'm like, are you an idiot or what? We've been waiting, 20 years for an undisputed heavyweight championship of the world. And what have we got here? We've got some idiot on Talk Sport talking about, oh, Tyson, don't take the fight. You don't need to take the fight. He's only a unified champion. Yes, he's had all the belts at some point in his career. He's had WBC belt at one point in his career, which is now before he's unified champion. Yes, I need you to collect all those belts, Tyson. But I think what they're trying to do is old man Usyk. So the longer Tyson takes, because obviously he's younger than Usyk, the longer Usyk takes to fight Tyson Fury, the older Usyk gets. The older Usyk gets, the more chance Tyson has got of surely beating him. So play the long tactics. Wait it out. Maybe Usyk is considering retiring, and maybe Tyson's thinking about, well, I don't actually have to have this fight because this guy brings in no money, and no rematch clause. So if I just play the long game with this guy, maybe you'll get really frustrated and vacate the belt. So if there's rumors around Usyk wanting to retire, maybe I'll just frustrate Usyk to the point where he'll retire. So then he retires, the fight becomes vacant, and then I'll fight somebody for the undisputed title. Somebody who's got gets a vacant WBC belt. Then I'll fight somebody for the title. But I'm actually sick of Fury now. I really am. Sick of him. You know, where people, if he would talk like that and fight regularly, it's fine. At least Vladimir Klitschko fought regularly. You knew he was the heavyweight champion. He fought regularly. Mike Tyson fought regularly. This guy now, he's just talk. And I think the governing body should now say, you know what? If you're a champion, you've got to fight at least 3 times a year. If you've got our belt, you must fight against 3 times a year. At least one of those fights have got to be mandatory. That would stop all this rubbish that's going on at the moment. Regarding Boatsi, I felt he was gun-shy with his fist, didn't go for the killer punch. Usually when a guy's gun-shy like that, he's probably been chinned in sparring. I've told you, he's probably been dropped and hurt in sparring. And all that happens, when a guy gets chinned in sparring, he loses his confidence. I don't believe in Joshua Boatsi. I'm sorry, I've said it already. I don't believe it. He's more hype than substance. LOL, Ingram turned on his computer and looked around and said, bruv, let me give these guys a piece of my mind, bruv. He's on fire tonight. Maidana might have motivation to come back and do damage. Remember, El Chino broke Broner's jaw in the second round with that flurry. Ain't looking good, bruv. I would love to see Maidana versus Benn. I would love it as kicker. Love it. I'd love it. Thanks for the live stream. No problems, Anthony. Davis Bikini's garbage. Oh, well, that's right. Fury's become the garbage cleaner. He just pick up any rubbish, isn't it? He'll pick up any rubbish. That's what it is now, the garbage cleaner. McKean and Fury are Fury's bum lickers. Well, he was trolling AJ yet saying that he's a pumped up middleweight on steroids, taking his belts, but yet doesn't want to fight Usyk. That's what I'm saying. Yap. I'm sick of Fury now. I would like someone to clean him out. It's getting to that point. It is getting to that point. I would be surprised if Fury fights this year. No, I wouldn't. If that fight at the end of the year in Dubai or wherever it is, skill challenge with Usyk, Fury, and Wilder, Joshua, that would be great. Ingram, Remember when Keith Urban held the WBA and WBC belts hostage, telling Spence to his face he wasn't next? Yeah. Can't believe Fury could be fighting McKean. It's so annoying. He can never be classed as the GOAT while fighting tin cans. Fury is a hypocrite. He's doing basically what Klitschko was doing when he was champion. The only difference between Fury and Klitschko, honestly, is the Klitschko fighting. Is him fighting Klitschko and him fighting Wilder. That's it. That's his pass. That is what Fury's pass. That is Fury. If you know about Fury's career, that's his passport. The Klitschko fight and the Wilder fights. That's it. So he'll be known great for fighting Klitschko and Wilder. That's it. That's it. Fury versus McKean is a skills bout for Junior Hammond. Oh, dear me. Oh, dear me. Oh, gosh. I like the way, also, Tommy Fury, I like the way his dad was talking about, my son, he's like GGG. He'll be next heavyweight champion, light heavyweight champion of the world. Or cruiserweight champion. Who is he fighting? Who's he fighting? Could Tommy Fury beat Anthony Yard? Could Tommy Fury beat John? I won't even say the word Joshua Buatsi. Could Tommy Fury beat Beterbiev or Beterbiev? Could Tommy Fury beat Bivol? Could Tommy Fury beat Jean Pascal even now? Come on, man. Where he's in misfits is a good thing. Klitschko was more humble and better abs. That's the only difference. Fury's boxing passport has 2 stamps, Wilder and Klitschko, but dude saying he's traveled the world. LOL. Yeah. Oh, no. He's got Klitschko, he's got Wilder, and he's got WWE. They were both boringly selective in who they chose to fight and took no risk. Absolutely. Tony Fury looks like he's on wild bull diet. Remember when Big John was saying Huey, Tommy, and Tyson were going to create a dynasty in their respective weight classes long time ago? I remember that. Oh, I also heard Huey Fury jumping up and saying, yeah, he'll clean out the heavyweight division. Listen, the only reason why Huey's done that, with all due respect, it's to make himself relevant in the heavyweight division. Somebody said, bro, people have forgotten. People think you've retired. You need to make yourself relevant. So shout out Wilder's name. Do you remember when Huey Fury was going to fight Deontay Wilder? Ouch. Do you remember when they lined up that fight between Huey Fury and Anthony Joshua? So Huey Fury now has to shout to them. Oh, yeah, I'll knock out Deontay Wilder. Or I'll fight Anthony Joshua. I'll do this. If I'm Huey Fury, I'll try and get a fight against Derek Chisora. I remember Huey Fury telling me years ago that he probably ended up fighting Derek Chisora. Huey Fury should fight Derek Chisora. Derek Chisora should be nowhere near Dave Allen. I heard that Dave Allen and Derek Chisora are going to fight. I hope that fight's not going to happen. And they don't call that pay-per-view, because I'd call that pain-per-view. Because that's what it is, pain-per-view. What else? One fight I have. Tyson Fury said that Huey Fury would become the youngest heavyweight champion in history. Well, that's not going to happen, is it? Huey Fury versus Daniel Dubois. Who wins and why? Huey trying to fight Wilder. That's attempted murder, man. The commission licensed it. Wilder was saying court he's on trial. John Fury's a joke, slagging off Misfits Boxing. Now he's in every other interview with Tommy, bigging up that Tommy will win against his YouTubers. How the mighty has fallen. The Fury clan has conned the British boxing fan public for far too long. It's time to let them go. Well, I don't think they've conned the public. I think they found a good way of making money without getting hurt. That's not conning the public. That's just getting smart. If I'm Tyson Fury and I got knocked down by Wilder multiple times, I'm not looking for too much of that heat again. I'm looking to get a pay packet and get as much as I can and not get my brains rearranged. Again, so if I'm Tommy Fury, stay unbeaten, fight Jake Paul and made a lot of money. Why the hell do I want to be going for Beterbiev and getting knocked out and beaten up when I could be making good money fighting, for example, I don't know, KSI? Loma's a crybaby. What idiot says they took the 12th round off? I always got entitled vibes from him. Yeah, that's it. Good. I'm glad you said it, John Smith. I'm glad you said exactly what I said. Entitled vibes. There you go. And I was so glad he lost. Not because I hate Lomachenko, but I hate the entitled vibes. Oh, I'm Lomachenko. Therefore, I should be undisputed. No. You know what he looks like there? He looks like, when you take a toy of a child who's done something wrong with a toy. That's what he looks like there. Yeah, I can't believe it. I can't believe my belt. I mean, they didn't give me my belt. I can't believe they didn't give me my belt. I'm white Jesus. I can't believe. No, they didn't give me my belt. I can't believe my undisputed belt. I worked so hard for this belt. I outboxed him. Timothy Bradley said it. Timothy Bradley said I was winning every round. Every round I was winning. I was beating up Haney. Oh. My gosh. If he beats Dubois, I said that before the Joyce fight. Dubois has a flat track belly with bad footwork and zero head movement. Yep. Well, there we got it right there. Apparently, Haney actually had better punching stats compared to Loma throughout the fight. He's probably laughing at that as well. He's probably crying at that as well. Listen, I'm just trying to keep it real with you. I'm telling you, I'm not a fan of Lomachenko. I'm not. But I'm not a great fan of Devin Haney either. I'm not a fan of Lomachenko because it's like when you push something up in somebody's faces and it's false advertising. When you push it up in your face and say, you have to accept this, that's what put me off from Lomachenko and the people around him. I remember going back in the day, it's going back a few years now, when they were trying to build an all-Ukrainian gym, or all Eastern European gym. And that was like, that gym was going to overtake all of boxing, world domination. Well, that fell apart. Lomachenko, Usyk's still around. Who else? Most of these guys who got beat up, knocked out, titles ripped off of them. So, glad Spence Crawford is here. I've got Crawford by unanimous decision or late KO. Big up Ingram. Yes, John Smith. Like you said, Loma has been forced down our collective throats by the media when boxers like Sweet Pea was doing what he was doing back and more back in the 80s and getting legitimately robbed. There you go. There you go. There you go. The entitlement he showed was so cringe there. That's what I'm saying. And because that's why I can't take Lomachenko, because he's forcing this down our throats. Like, I can see with my own eyes. The guy's got talent. The guy's got ability. I can see from my own eyes. You don't have to throw it down my throat. You don't need to do it. The fact that you have to push it tells me that something is not right there. Loma showed that he had same entitlement throughout his career. I remember when he was beating some guy up and then monitoring the referee. That's the ref job, not his. Oh, yeah, well, that's the whole Roy Jones did the same thing as well. But when Roy did that stuff. Ali did that stuff first. When Ali was beating a guy up and he called him over, Ali did that. But there's a difference. Lomachenko's not Ali, and Roy Jones is not Ali. Ali is Ali. Adam Smith. Oh, my word. What a fight. What fight? Why would Loma choose to take his hand off the gas at this point? This is not the time to cruise. Well, that's his business because he felt that he was going to win the championship of the world. Good, you didn't. Ha ha. I'm not hating. I just don't. I just haven't got time because you feel entitled and because your team feel they're entitled, it doesn't mean that you are actually entitled. Good. And the thing is, you know what makes this worse? And I hate to use it, and I'm going to bring my brother Eugene on. The whole thing with this Ukrainian thing at the moment. You waving the flag afterwards. Are you really waving that flag because of what's really going on in Ukraine, right? And the situation you're in? Or are you waving that flag to get some sort of sorry vote? I just wonder. Because when you're entitled like that, you will do things manipulative. Entitled people are very manipulative people. When they feel that they deserve it or it's theirs, they will do things to manipulate the crowd as well. So no, I don't want to talk about it now. I don't want to talk about it. I'm just gonna wave the flag. Look at me, yeah. Look at the pain we're going through, but look at me as well. Don't connect your loss, your sorry ass loss, because you didn't do what you're meant to do in the ring, to what the political situation is. Don't. But that's what this guy's doing. At one point, dude thought he was better than a lightweight Mayweather. I know, that's what I'm saying. And yes, John Smith, I agree. The Eastern European myth is just that. They have good boxers, but they have no greater than any other nation. European culture loves mythical figures. No wonder they celebrate Greek and Nordic mythology. Well, not just they celebrate it. Anthony Joshua celebrated Alexander Usyk, and then Usyk kicked his ass around the ring. Not once. It was so nice, he got his ass kicked twice. Anyway, let's move on. Sympathy vote. Yes, I didn't think of that until now. See, there you go. Manipulative. And even more so why I was happy he lost. And his team. Remember when I was just about to think about De La Hoya when he fought Trinidad. Yeah, when he took the 12th round after the Trinidad fight. I shouldn't have cruised, he kept saying when he lost on the cars all the way to the dressing room. LOL. Yeah. Well, you know what? He didn't take his foot off the gas in the 12th round. He was exhausted because he was up on his toes, dancing and moving. And that was one of my favorite fights. When I used to box, that was the first 5 rounds of De La Hoya versus Trinidad. That was how, for me, I thought that was, when I saw De La Hoya in those 5 rounds, and one day I might break it down, but those 5 rounds, when De La Hoya was on his toes and he was using the jab, putting combination together, moving from left to right, to me, at that time, as a De La Hoya fan, that was where, as me as a boxer, that was what I wouldn't say I adored, I admired. Those 5 rounds. And De La Hoya was one of my favorite fighters. So that's kind of telling you where I was at in boxing at the time. De La Hoya was the guy I looked at. You know, when he fought Ike Corte and he went down, he got up and he dropped Corte. Yeah. Love De La Hoya. Love me some De La Hoya. Back then. I don't know about Oscar De La Hoya and all the tights and all that stuff. And I remember when I went to America and De La Hoya was fighting Vargas. And I was with my cousin. He's American. He's from Florida. And I remember before I went to Florida, I was in Los Angeles. And I went to East LA because I was a big De La Hoya fan. I went to East LA. And I also went to Compton. I remember getting on a bus in East LA at the time. And I didn't realize there was a lot of tension between the Mexicans and the blacks. Big thing. And I was on a bus coming back from East LA back into Los Angeles, downtown LA. And all these Mexicans were looking at me. And I clicked because they thought maybe I was a black American. So I looked at them and going, hey, it's not with me. I said it on the bus. It's not with me. I'm from England. My family from Caribbean. So whatever issues you got, don't bring me involved. Ah, England. Hey. So they all came and started greeting me on the bus. They thought I was like, I don't know what beef was going on. Not my business. But my point is, I just wanted to give the back to De La Hoya, how much of a fan of De La Hoya was. And then when I told my cousin about De La Hoya, how I love De La Hoya, and De La Hoya's this, De La Hoya's that, my cousin said, what? De La Hoya? Are you a madman or what? I said, no, De La Hoya, got a great jab, puts punches together. They said, De La Hoya, listen, De La Hoya's a racist. I went, what? Nah, De La ain't no racist. Then all that stuff come out about Hopkins. He said, De La Hoya is not the guy you think he is. De La Hoya is a fake. And the stuff about him come out of all sorts of stuff about De La Hoya. Oh, my God. Now looking back at my cousin who, my cousin told me all this stuff because he was in the entertainment industry. He worked with guys like Hulk Hogan. He picked cars for the Too Fast, Too Furious and Fast and Furious. He was the guy about that. Moved with guys like Justin Timberlake, Missy Elliott, Trina. I was invited to a party to meet all those people. My cousin invited me to a party to meet those people. But I didn't go because, well, I was like, who am I? So I never went. But yeah, I'm just telling that story to tell you some previous. To say that I was a big De La Hoya fan. And I just wanted to let you know that not everything, all that glitters ain't gold. Just to say that to you. Where does Loma go from here, though? Apparently, him and his team have put in appeals to become mandatory for all the Haney belts. Yeah, they could go down that route. I believe so. But if Lomachenko's team think for 1 second in their entitled mindset that Lomachenko is going to get the belts handed to him in some way because he was robbed, well, my friend, that's not going to happen. In that case, then guess what? They should give Meldrick Taylor the titles that he should have won against the titles he should have won against what's his name? Who they say is Chavez. Or when Whitaker beat the crap out of Chavez. They should have that as well, but neither here nor there. And he can't cry. He should be crying. When Lennox Lewis lost against Evander Holyfield, I say the word lost, it was a draw against Evander Holyfield in the first fight when Lennox actually beat the crap out of Holyfield. And he got a draw that night. I don't know what Lomachenko's crying about. Yeah, that lateral move at jab, slipping, fiery exchanges when you can dictate the pace. Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, it is good stuff until somebody starts closing you down and starts landing heavy shots to your body. That stuff, then you've got to find an alternative. De La Hoya's alternative was to run, literally run. And all these people who like to take the mickey out of Mayweather about Mayweather running. The only person I've seen actually run in boxing was De La Hoya. He literally, as we say in England, chipped it. He chipped it when he fought Trinidad. And I'm a De La Hoya fan. Well, I was a De La Hoya fan. I think De La Hoya, the boxer, I was a fan of. De La Hoya outside the ring, I don't know about. But he chipped it when he fought Trinidad. Go back and watch that fight. He literally he was wearing running boots that night. He was wearing trainers. I swear, he was not wearing boxing boots. He was wearing trainers that night. He looked sus that night. Them trainers. He had like blue trainers he was wearing? Laced up trainers. I swear, he had running trainers on that night. He knew he was going to run against Trinidad. And he's literally running. He got him with a shot and like, I don't want any of this. I'm getting out of there. I keep looking at Lomachenko crying it. And the more I see him cry, the more mad I'm getting. Those Ukrainians here in the UK are now complaining that the communities they've been housing are far too dark and they don't like sending their kids to school with non-white kids. Well. You see, that's a sort of tension that is expected to happen. Well. All I'm saying. Ingram Jones in East LA without a clue, man. Ingram, Boyle Heights ain't no joke. Having lived out in the US on the West Coast for some time. Bro, Compton, walking through Compton and seeing bullet holes in those shops made me realize, Pick up Haney. Not a fan of the style, but he's one of the battle-tested young ones coming up. He had a better resume than Gervonta. Yeah. I'll give him that. He has, indeed. And De La Hoya's clash with Chavez was epic. I love that fight. The second fight. In fact, if you go back and check on my channel and you go to Big Fight Commentaries, I actually did a commentary for that fight. That second fight was one of my favorite De La Hoya. That's the fight that actually I fell in love with De La Hoya with. That fight. The way he closed the show on Chavez. That's how you close the show on an aging champion. It was epic. Many people turned on Oscar saying he wasn't a real Chicano. Lots of backstories to De La Hoya. Yes, there is. That same story came back and visited him in against Vargas as well. De La Hoya was one of my favorite boxers in the 90s, up there with Roy Jones, Trinidad, and Mike Tyson. But Oscar is a raving sexual freak, and the older he gets, he doesn't care about hiding it. Well, yeah, that is. Yeah. that's an amazing story about the bus in America, Graham. You've been in some right surreal moments in your life, haven't you? Yeah. If you go and look on the channel, I've also been to see Muhammad Ali's house. I've been outside Muhammad Ali's house. Yep. There's been quite a few connections to Muhammad Ali. I've interviewed his brother. I've been outside his house in Chicago, which is on the same road as Minister Farrakhan, the Honorable Minister Farrakhan, and Elijah Muhammad's house. That street, and then Barack Obama's literally around the corner from there. So sort of where Barack Obama is, you can't even go down that road. It's got military just barricading that road, but you can just see where Barack Obama's would be. Yeah. So, and the other connection to Ali was I actually trained on the mat that Ali had his first pro bout in, and that was in Grenada, and that's on BWTM Sports as well. So, a few connections with Ali. Don't forget Thurman, when he got hit to the body by Luis Colazzo, Manny Pacquiao, he must have some Olympic record. Oh yeah, he's got one as well. But his record's not as Olympic as De La Hoya got gold there for running as well, man. Nobody talks about, when they talk about running, they talk about Mayweather, but I've never seen Mayweather in his whole career. When he got hit by Mosley, he took it like a champ, and people keep playing that over and over and over again on Instagram, that Mayweather getting rocked by Mosley, yeah? They keep showing that over and over and over and over again. But they never show you De La Hoya chipping it when he was fighting Trinidad. That's stuff I hate about boxing. People see what they want to see. If you're going to do it, please be balanced. Be balanced. Or another one who chipped it as well was Kubrat Pulev. When Joshua hit him so hard he wanted to run outside the ring. Pulev, De La Hoya, and Thurman. Listen, I ain't knocking them guys for running, because when you get hit with a shot that's painful, you're looking for the back door. You're looking for any way to get away from getting hurt more. And say with Garcia, when Garcia got hit with a shot, remember, Garcia got knocked out in sparring with a body shot, and I think the rib was either broken or badly bruised. So when Gervonta hit him to the body with that shot, and he went down for two reasons. Reason number one is, apart from he's in pain, he's like, all right, I'm not really strong at this point, and I don't want to get knocked out. And the second thing is, if I get up, I'm not going to defend myself. So I don't blame Garcia for what he did. I don't. So anything else? Talks about Benn, Smith versus Beterbiev. You know what? I like the way Callum Smith is fighting at the moment. I like how he's fighting on Buddy McGirt. You know what? I'm going with Smith in this fight. I'm going with Smith. I think Smith punches hard. He's a better boxer than Yard. He's been already with Canelo. I like Smith in this fight. Tall, long, rangy, and he's fighting. He's a better version of it. I really like him against Beterbiev in this fight. He can punch. He's fighting. He can throw to the body, throw to the head. Yes, Beterbiev can throw punches back. But I do like Callum Smith in this fight. I really do. Has any boxer sneakily spat their gumshoe out too quickly, got a few seconds of rest? Luis Colazzo, prediction for Lara versus Wood 2. Well, my prediction is, if Lara gets hit in the chin again, we know what's going to happen. I think that Beterbiev is too durable. Is he? He's been down. He's been rocked by Yard, but Yard, I think Yard's punching power is overrated. I do. Because who at world level has Yard actually knocked out? I mean, he hit, what's this guy? Kovalev on the chin. This is the same Kovalev who got knocked out by, who got badly hurt by Ward, who's not a puncher, and is much smaller than Yard. And then he got knocked out by the other guy. I can't remember the guys. I can't remember. He's got a square head. I can't remember his name. He's Colombian maybe, and he knocked out Kovalev, and Kovalev beat him in the rematch. Vasquez, is it Vasquez? No. Don't know what the guy's name is. Is he Colombian? I don't know. From that part of the world, and he knocked out Kovalev. So I don't know. Prediction: I have to go back and look at the Lara Wood 2 fight, but the first fight. I like Lee Wood. I don't like his chin. I never have liked Lee Wood's chin. Never. Like his boxing ability. You've been chinned once. You can get chinned again. He says he was winning the fight until he got caught. The problem with guys like that is that if he thinks that he was winning that fight and it was just a case he got caught and knocked out, then he's in for a rude awakening, because that Lara was throwing that punch before that punch landed. He was throwing that punch. He was trying that shot, and he eventually caught Lee Wood. Now, if that's the punch he was throwing from round 1 to the point Lee Wood got knocked out, Lara did exactly what he was meant to do. He was getting out of box, yes, but he landed a shot and knocked Wood out. Is Wood vulnerable to that shot? And is he going to make adjustments in the rematch not to get caught with that shot again? That's the question. There we go. Elder Alvarez, Kovalev and KO came back and outboxed him in the rematch. There you go. Hey, Diego Cruz spat the gumshoe twice in round 10 versus Castillo to come back and stop him. What a classic round it was. Yes, he did. So, yes, Castillo was the guy who spat his gum shield out. There's quite a few of them in history who spat their gum shield out, not just him. But Diego Corrales is most famous for that. Right. I think for now, I don't think there's much more for me to talk about at the moment. Yeah, for now. Because the thing is, Wood, at the time of getting hit, kept turning at angles where he would be squared up with his feet together and chin up. Right? Well. If that's the case, then he'll get chinned again. Unless he makes adjustments, and has he got enough time to make the adjustments to outbox Lara? I don't know. But if he's leaving himself in position to get caught with that punch, he could get caught with that punch again. I agree with you, Ingram. I saw Lara sitting up Wood for that left hook from the previous round. Well, there you go. So if he can set up that punch and land it once, there's no doubt in my mind he can land it again, because he was setting the punch up and you did nothing with the great Ben Davison in the corner. You aren't able to do anything about it. So, yeah, I don't know. Can you evade getting it with that left hook again? I don't know. Did Lara throw it as a lucky punch? I don't think so. And sometimes guys in boxing, some guys take a few rounds, and while Lee Wood was throwing all them shots and outboxing Lara, I was like, okay, all right, okay, I'm seeing your chin there. All right, yeah, okay, all right. And he's calling saying that left hook, he's there for the left hook. He's there for the left hook. False sense of security. All right, boom, left hook. Do you understand? So I don't know. Did Lee Wood, was it a lack of concentration, or was that punch always going to connect on Lee Wood's chin? If he's getting squared up, that's a technical issue. And if it's a technical issue, then he got enough time to iron out those problems in a rematch. Some rematches, as far as I'm concerned, are well warranted. And there's some rematches that are just dumb. Why are you taking a rematch? Joe Joyce versus Zhang. It's just a dumb rematch. Like, yeah, it's like everyone else is exercising a rematch, so I'll exercise my rematch too. To do what? What are you going to do different against Zhang? Are you suddenly going to move your head? No. Are you going to suddenly move your feet? No. So what exactly are you going to do? I'm going to get bigger this fight because the last fight I was not as big. So I'm going to put more weight on, which means I'm going to be faster. No. And the idiots out there going, yeah, you know, it's because Joyce was lighter for the fight. That's why he got beat. No, it's because Joyce doesn't move his head. And he fought against a southpaw. That was, Olympic pedigree. And when you fight a guy with Olympic pedigree, good boxing skills, and a big left hand, there's a problem. and he's outweighing you, there's a problem. Wood's ego in taking a rematch would be his undoing and the end of his career. I think Lara puts his lights out for good this time. Quite possibly. Quite possibly. Quite possibly. Quite possibly. There's a few guys like that. Their ego gets the better of them. And they take a fight based on emotions rather than sit back and say, you know what? Okay. I've got to make some technical adjustments. Right. I think that's it for me. Thank you all for watching as always. Perfect Joe Joyce impersonation. Big Dumbo, punch drunk Joe. Zhang will batter him into semi-retirement and Fishhouse will throw him in Dubois tennis square. Dubois, by the way, my comments on Dubois is finished. Daniel Dubois is finished. He's finished. Finished. He's got his flesh, Shane McGuigan, his career's finished. If you're getting hit by a cruiserweight and falling over the way you fell over, my gosh, in the heavyweight division against a real heavyweight punching you back, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The drama surrounding Tyan Booth. I don't know what the drama is, but now you said it, I'm going to go on YouTube, have a look at the drama. Right. Thank you all so much for watching as always. This has been BWTM Sports. Please do like the video, subscribe, share the video. I really appreciate it. Thanks again for watching.